So today we're looking at modals in all four aspects, especially perfect continuous, because I don't think I've really focused on modals in perfect continuous before. Now it's good to remember, and I explain this in my course about tenses, that I understand anyway English tenses working like this. There are other ways I'm sure of understanding it, but there's a past, there's a present, and there's a future. And there are four aspects. There is simple. In present that would be present simple, do. There is continuous, is doing. There is perfect simple, has done. And there's perfect continuous, has been doing. Which makes our tenses quite complicated really, because we've got four just for present. Now you should always remember that this perfect simple is earlier than present simple and present continuous. It undoubtedly happened earlier. It's not at the moment. Simple we use for things which regularly happen in the present. Continuous is at the moment. It's happening now, so it's an interrupted moment. We're in the middle of it right now. Perfect simple is earlier than these two, and it's already been done. It has been done. And perfect continuous is a process which was earlier. So it's only used with dynamic verbs. It's not used with states. It's only for dynamic verbs, and it's an earlier process. Yeah, and very often one which continues until the present. Yeah, but started in the past but continues into the present. I have been living here for 3 years. Yeah, I have been teaching English for 15 years. Whatever, but have been and the verb. Now I want to show you that modals obey very similar rules as these three. If you can remember these three, they use the same signal words, in fact. So I've got could do, might be doing, may have done, must have been doing. I've just changed the modal here in each one, but we could say may do, we could say might do, we could say will do or would do. I mean, will would put it into future because that is future will. And so we say will do, will be doing, will have done, will have been doing. Very rare, that particular tense. And did, was doing, had done, had been doing. So let's look at these. We could go to the party or we could go home. Yeah, 50-50, just something happening in the present, not something unfinished, but just a suggestion. We could go to the party or we could go home. So I think this one's quite clear. Yeah, we must go to the party. We should go to the party. Obviously all the different modal forms give different meaning to that sentence, but that's just a general sentence about the present. Here we see a present continuous modal. Might be doing. He could be reading a book at the moment. Could be reading means he could be in the middle of reading a book. Yeah, so it's just like present continuous. Is he reading a book at the moment? Yeah, he could be reading a book at the moment. It's modal present continuous. Okay? You could say he must be reading a book at the moment, or I think he should be reading a book at the moment, or there are a lot of other modals we could use there. Okay, these two about the present. This one is actually about the past, and that's why we call these ones past modals. Even though they have a present tense in the middle, don't let that fool you. These are really past modals. And notice already is a signal word for present perfect. Well, it's also a signal word for a modal in the perfect form. So he may have already escaped from prison. It's 50-50, and this happened in the past, okay? That's why I've drawn it here. This is now, but this is the past. Yeah, this is about the past. He may have already escaped from prison. However, if we want to talk about a past period of time, he must have been waiting for months to escape. He must have been planning it for weeks on end. Yeah? You've got to use this whole long complicated structure in order to demonstrate that there was a period which you're sure took place in the past. So he must have been waiting for months to escape. He must have been planning it for a long time. There are many other examples, and I'm going to give you some more here. But yeah, you can see then that this perfect continuous, it works with signal words. I mean, really, these three signal words, that is present continuous signal word, that's present perfect signal word, and that's very often present perfect continuous signal word. I want to just show you now that perfect continuous can be a little bit like just the continuous as well. It can be a little bit like past continuous, the way we teach it. So have a look at this. He must have been drinking last night because he got arrested. Now we're talking about something in the past, and we're talking about a process in the past, and that's why, you know, which was interrupted actually when he got arrested. And because it's an interrupted process, you must use, in the past, you must use this past modal form, which is actually the perfect continuous form. Okay, you might see this last night and think, oh, you just need a simple form, yeah, you just need past simple. Well, I'm afraid that logic doesn't work here. We're in the middle of an interrupted past moment, and because these two are for pasts, the may have done and the must have been doing, or the must have done, or the could have done, or the might have been doing, may have been doing, they both refer to the past, and that's why I've drawn this here, the past. Okay, so he must have been drinking last night. This one's the interrupted past. He was interrupted in the middle of his drinking by the police. They arrested him. Here it's an interrupted moment as well. When he arrived, we should have been in the middle of waiting for him. We should have been there waiting for him. We should have been waiting for him. Yeah, this is interrupted as well. That's why it's perfect continuous. It's a dynamic verb which is often in continuous as well, and it's interrupted by the arrival. So when he arrived, we should have been waiting for him. Lastly, they might have been sleeping because they didn't hear me when I came home. Yeah, perhaps your friends were at home, but they might have been sleeping because they didn't hear me when I came home. And so again, you're talking about that they were in the middle of sleeping, and so you really must use this continuous form which we keep seeing. Okay, now I hope that's all clear. Please ask me some questions under the video. I'd be delighted to answer some. If there's anything about this that you don't understand, but I hope that's clear. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all soon.